At the outset, I would like to congratulate all of you for performing your yesterday's class test extremely well. And as I have already told you that these tests are conducted only to improve your recall and also review the topics which are already done. I think these topics were done during your first year. So that time you may not have given much importance or time for knowing all these things. So now it becomes necessary for all of you to have a revision of those topics which were done about 3 years back, and also keep yourself more knowledgeable about the department concepts. Now, knowing concept is almost like laying down the foundation for a building. Unless otherwise you have a very strong foundation, building will not be strong. In a similar manner, when you are trying to read and try to understand the concept of a department or a subject or a chapter, your ability to understand the entire chapter becomes more and more relevant. I still remember when I was a medical student, just like you, I had a lot of passion for community medicine. The reason is that this is a subject which has got a wonderful goal that there is no need to suffer from a disease. Most of the disease is preventable, and it is not necessary for each and every person to go through the process of the painful process of disease. So prevention is always better than cure. And when I was actually in the final year, there was a sort of a meeting between some of my friends, and they were trying to discuss about what we should do for PG course. Some of the students expressed that they would like to go for the specialties like general medicine, clinical specialties. Some of them have expressed their inclination for laboratory medicine like pathology, biochemistry and all these things. Probably only myself and one more person, 2 persons, they have expressed their interest of community medicine. So people started criticizing. Why we joined the medical course to start practice and start earning money. Why you are trying to go for this sort of a subject where there is no earning? I said, earning is many ways. One is earning money, the one is earning job satisfaction. When I can earn, I can also earn in some other fields. I can earn as an engineer, I can earn as an accountant, I can earn as a legal expert. So earning is, if it is the main motive, I told them that I need not join medical course. I joined this course only to see that the suffering, the human suffering is reduced to a large extent. When once a person is suffering and trying to reduce the suffering, it is a second grade type of service. When I anticipate suffering and also I can predict that disease may occur and motivate you and make you aware of the problems and see that you are well prepared and you will not succumb to the disease, and thereby you are improving the quality of life. So this is what we have to remember. So that made some people realize the importance of community medicine. Even till today, I subscribe to the same type of a concept that this is the only subject into the entire medical course which gives a lot of importance for the quality of life. And see, the reading the concepts will help you to make a decision on the future of your medical course. And if you really want to join this department, I can tell you that you will never regret. Okay, with this brief introduction, I just want to go through the So the first question is, one of the following is non-medical dimensions of the health, which is physical, mental, and social and emotional dimensions. What do you think is the right answer? It is not a medical, this is mostly a non-medical dimensions. Very little can be done by a doctor in this. The answer is social dimension. The answer is social dimensions, because the physical dimension, there is some medical element, mental dimension, medical element is there. Emotional dimension also, there is some medical, but social dimension requires people participation, people's understanding. So it is more of understanding the human behavior rather than the understanding the physiology, anatomy, biochemistry of the body. So it is more of understanding the behavior pattern of the people. That's why social dimension is most important non-medical dimensions, and which most of the people do not know about it. Okay. Now the second question is, one of the following is a mortality indicator: life expectancy, notification rate, Daly bed turnover ratios. Okay. Daly is, very much that it is disability indicator, and bed turnover is a utilization indicator. Notification rate, it is again administrative indicators. So whatever that is remaining is life expectancy. It is related to the mortality of the more people are living means the life expectancy is more. If more people are dying, the life expectancy is low. So life expectancy is expressed in two ways. One is life expectancy at birth and life expectancy at age 1. These are the two types of expressions that we have. And India about 2 decades back had a very bad life expectancy. Now it is almost competing with some of the European countries, and our life expectancy has increased to 65 plus. That's why now the government is thinking that senior citizenship should be changed to 65 instead of 60. So people are living longer, and again life expectancy for a male is less than the life expectancy for a female. The females, if they are given the same ideal conditions, they usually outlive, they live longer than the males. In European countries, the population above 80 years, mostly 70 to 80% are females, whereas 20% are males. The reasons are very much known to all of us, that the lifestyles and the quality of life is much better for the female rather than the male. Males are addicted to alcohol, smoking, and so many other types of life-threatening habits. So the males are more likely to die early than female. And genetically also you can understand that the female is a preferred sex by the God. The infants, if you try to give the same type of conditions, living conditions for the female infant and male infant, more female infants live rather than. So this is a very important thing that you have to remember. So life expectancy is now one of the following is the best measure for estimating burden of disease in the community: case fatality rate, disability adjusted Daly, dependency ratio and morbidity data? The answer is burden of the disease. Burden of the disease. That means the number of cases in the community. So the answer is the morbidity data. You can calculate the prevalence rates and incidence rates. Like that, you can definitely say that D is the morbidity indicator. All of the following indicators are used to measure the disability rates in a community except, right? Sullivan's index, human poverty index, health adjusted, it's called a HALI, disability adjusted life in DALI. Like that, we have got all the three disability indicators. So the remaining one is human poverty index, that is B is the right answer. The next question, silent epidemics of the century is on the following: coronary heart disease, chronic liver disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, Alzheimer's disease. It doesn't cause much problem. It is silently killing the people. It is a silent epidemic, and the answer is Alzheimer's disease. There are a lot of people above 80 suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Some of them, they may die because they are totally disoriented. They may be walking on the street and they do not realize that some vehicle is coming. They are hit by a vehicle and they may die. Even inside the house also, they may slip and die. Somebody, please mute your, somebody, please mute your. Okay, submerged portion of iceberg does not include one of the following: the latent cases, carriers, undiagnosed cases, and healthy population. Okay, it's a very simple answer. That is, healthy population is not included under the submerged, because only the diseased or yet to be diseased people are included in this. Virulence of organism causing a disease is indicated by one of the following: proportional mortality rates, specific mortality rate, case fatality rate, and amount of GDP spent on the control of the disease. We'll discuss after that. Don't send any chatting, don't have any chatting now. We'll discuss at the end. Don't send any messages now. Okay, the answer is case fatality rate. When the organism virulence is increasing, the more number of people are dying. So that's why the highly virulent organism is a rabies, because case fatality rate is 100%. Similarly, a large number of viruses which has got a virulence, high virulence, they kill people. So case fatality rate is an index of virulence of the organism. If the virulence is low, just like COVID, there may be a large number of people who are infected or affected or having positive symptoms, but death is very low. COVID is less than 1% in most of the countries. It is a very lowly virulent virus. One of the following is not true about the mentally healthy persons. He is free from internal conflicts. He does not accept criticism. He searches for the identity. He has a strong sense of self-esteem. It is not prideness, self-esteem. He knows what he is, and he will have maintained his self, care and self decorum. So, the mentally ill people, they do not accept criticism. So, anybody who is not accepting criticism can be called as mentally ill, because when you are in a group, lot of people will criticize lot of people around. So for every small thing, if you are getting disturbed and you don't accept the criticism, start fighting with them, that is something wrong with you. So you are mentally ill. So does not accept criticism, that is B is the answer. One of the following is not direct determinants of health: genetic predisposition, cultural conditions, availability of private hospitals, socio-economic conditions. So these are four options given to you. Genetic predisposition you can't manage because it has to manifest in the disease. Similarly, cultures, very difficult. They directly affect your health. Socio-economic condition also affect your purchasing capacity. So you have a direct effect on this. Whereas the private hospitals, having a government hospital is different. Having constructed many private hospitals in an area doesn't give a guarantee that the people will be able to live happily and healthily. It doesn't have any sort of a impact on the health of the people. So the usual way of thinking that having too many nursing homes in a place, the health of the people is protected, is a myth. Availability of private hospital is not a direct determinant of health. All of the following are social indicators except per capita income, level of unemployment, environment pollution, family size. Because the answer is extremely easy, nothing to worry, it is C. Okay. All of the following are healthcare delivery indicators: bed turnover ratios, doctor-nurse ratios, population bed ratios, population covered by subcenter. These are the various options we have. The answer is D. That is, population covered by subcenter is not a healthcare delivery indicator. It is not a indicator for the population. Physical quality of life index, PQLI, includes all of the following except, again it's a very simple and easy answer: dependency ratio, IMR, life expectancy, literacy. These are the four options we have. What is not there in PQLI? Yes, you're right. A, that is dependency ratio, is not there. The remaining three are included under PQLI, physical quality of life index. It is not the quality of life index, it's a physical quality. It's slightly different from quality of life. Regarding the pre-pathogenous phase of the disease, all the following statements are true except, the disease is broadly divided into three phases: pre-pathogenous phase and the pathogenesis phase. All the doctors, including you and me, are able to perceive the pathogenesis phase because symptoms are there. But before the symptoms occur, some things happen inside your body and an interaction between agent, host and environment. It is silently going on and it is not being recognized by the doctors. It's only recognized by the epidemiologists who are studying about the agent, host and environmental factors. So this is the statement on the pre-pathogenesis phase is: disease agent has entered the body, the epidemiological triad is actively involved, we are all exposed to the risk of the disease, and we are in the pre-pathogenesis phase of many diseases. Okay. Now, so many of you have answered the question by giving the option A. Please remember, when once the agent has entered your body, the pre-pathogenesis period is over. The agent, when once it is inside the body, the pathogenesis period starts, because when once the agent is inside, it multiplies, the antibody production occurs, agent is the winner after some time, and then what happens is the disease agent goes for pathogenesis phase, and the first stage of the pathogenesis phase is incubation period. It is not an exaggeration if I say that we are in the incubation period of many diseases at a given point of time. Okay, so the incubation period is again something not easily understood. It is variable. So understand, please remember that the pre-pathogenesis, if you take certain precautions during the pre-pathogenesis period, probably we can prevent many diseases. There is no point in tackling the disease at the pathogenesis phase, which most of our doctors do in the hospitals. So answer is disease agent has entered. Kumar. నేను కనిపించడం లేదంటున్నారు. మూడోదా? Okay. Now the next question is the term agent in epidemiology means one of the following. Okay. So agent, most of the people think that it is an organism. It is not necessarily an organism. What is the agent in the case of cancer? It is not an organism. Cancer is not caused by any organism. What is the agent in the case of heat stroke? It is not an organism. Okay. So you have to remember the definition of agent. Agent is defined as the living or non-living substance. Sometimes it may be energy also. It may be force, which is directly responsible for the disease. Okay. So most of the people, including the experienced clinicians, they do not know the term, the definition of agent. Agent is simply maybe a living or non-living substance or a force. So keeping that definition, you can easily answer this. All pathogenic organisms, all carcinogens, all toxic. That means you are only partially showing the agents here. So all living and non-living substances can be agent factors. What is the agent factor in Kangri ulcer? There is a Kangri ulcer in Kashmir. The agent factor in Kangri ulcer is heat. The Kangri, which is hot in nature, is strapped against the belly or the abdomen. Because of the contact of the friction and heat, the people develop a cancer on the anterior abdominal wall. So the term agent is a very general term. You have to remember. It is not agent 007. It is agent for the disease. Okay. Now, all the following are examples of modifiable risk factors except smoking. Is it modifiable? Yes, it is modifiable. Hypertension, elevated serum, and family history. Hypertension can be modified, and elevated serum can be decreased. But the history of the family cannot be changed. It is a non-modifiable factor. So family history cannot be changed. You are born with a set of genes. You are born with the history of the family. A familial disease is already existing in your family. You are likely to get it. Nobody can change it. Lifestyle factors include all of the following except physical exercise, consumption of alcohol, gender, eating habits. Can you give me the answer? Can you answer this? It's a very important question which gives an idea about your concepts. Okay? The answer is gender. Can you, this is a not included under the lifestyle, whether male or female, the lifestyle factors are same. One of the following is an ideal example of a social disease. Essentially, each and every disease is a social disease. There is some sort of a social element in each and every disease. There is no disease in this world which doesn't have any social background. Please remember this. But there are certain diseases, the social factors are extremely important, and the disease does not exist or it can be totally eliminated if the social factors are tackled. Okay? Now I think I have given you enough explanation. The answer is leprosy. Leprosy, 100% social disease. Leprosy can be totally eliminated, eradicated if the stigma against this leprosy is totally removed. Because leprosy is such a mild disease. It takes almost a decade to manifest after the infection. So God has given us almost 10 years of time to prevent this disease occurring. So if a person is able to report in the medical facility with the first onset of the hypopigmented patch, one tablet of the anti-leprosy drug. Now what is a tablet? There are three drugs available for leprosy. One tablet is more than sufficient to completely treat that disease. Okay, so leprosy, what is required is that the patient should be able to report to the doctor at an early stage. Leprosy can be totally eradicated. Smoking is a risk factor for all the following diseases except ischemic heart disease, yes or no? Cancer, stroke, rheumatic heart disease. Very simple, very easy answer. Most of you have answered it correctly also. Rheumatic disease doesn't have any risk factor, smoking as a fact. Whereas stroke, yes. Cancer, yes. Ischemic heart disease, yes. All these three, they have got a risk factor. Smoking. Smokers are likely to get these diseases. Rheumatic heart disease is the right answer. All of the following are measures of specific protection. You know specific protection? It is the second component in the primary prevention. Primary prevention has got two components. One is health promotion. The other one is known as the specific protection. Health promotion is the best possible preventive measure. For COVID-19, what they said? Keep distance, that is health promotion. Okay? And avoid overcrowding, improve ventilation. All these things are health promotional measures. What is the specific protection in the case of COVID? Wearing a mask, right? Somebody is there in your room and in your family who's already tested positive. How to prevent disease in you? You already, it is positive case. So you protect yourself from getting the organism into the body. So that is wearing a mask. Okay. Now you have got 4 options: immunization, chemoprophylaxis, health education, and seroprophylaxis. What is the answer? C is the right answer. Okay. Health education is a wonderful measure of health promotion. You are making the people aware about their health needs, making the people aware of the health, their responsibility to prevent disease in them. That is a health education measure. That is more than sufficient. If you can health educate a group of people and make them, responsible, there is no need for any doctor. I still remember when I was giving a health education to the children in Mangalore city. I have addressed one group of children, school children in a school, and I told them very clearly that malaria mosquito enters your house after 6 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the evening to 10 o'clock in the night. If you can keep your doors and windows, you will not get malaria. I told them also that I practice the same thing and I never suffered from malaria. So one child was so much, impressed with my talk that next time when I went to the same school, one parent came running to me and said, "Sir, you made my life miserable, sir." I said, "Why?" that my son listened to you that people should not enter after 6 o'clock. He is not allowing my friend to enter after 6 o'clock. My friend is complaining that your son is very rude fellow, he is not allowed. So I said, see, this is something which you should learn from your son. Your son has understood the importance. You should also agree with him and see that it is locked after 6 o'clock. You can totally eradicate malaria in your home, I told him, and he was convinced. One of the following diseases is often described as a modern pandemic of the century. The modern pandemic of the century is, what is it? Is it COVID-19? Is it Alzheimer's? Is it coronary heart disease, MD, or tuberculosis? This is a modern pandemic. It is MD or tuberculosis is called as modern pandemic of the century. We had tuberculosis, and a complicated type of tuberculosis called as multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. And people are fighting a lot to see that the MDR tuberculosis and XDR tuberculosis are eradicated, are controlled. It is so difficult because at a given point of time, this tuberculosis disease is resistant to many anti-tuberculosis drugs. It's a challenge for the pulmonary physician, also the general physician, to tackle a case of MDR tuberculosis. The proportion of MDR tuberculosis out of the tuberculosis cases is slowly increasing. A day may come, every case we get as a tuberculosis may be an MDR tuberculosis. You're talking so much about COVID-19. In fact, the morbidity and mortality of tuberculosis is much more than COVID-19. I'm not saying that COVID-19 we should not care, but try to understand that tuberculosis has damaged more people, has killed more people than COVID-19. And it is going on and continuing like this. One of the following is not an example of rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is a tertiary prevention, and rehabilitation is the last and condition which is actually very bad, very sad, I can say, because the whole thing is over. The person is paralyzed, nothing can be done. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to give some sort of mobility to the leg which is already paralyzed. So this is a sort of a last resort, right? So it is very important in the case of polio, paralytic polio. Some people, they recover well and they start walking in spite of a profound paralysis. So rehabilitation, schools for the blind, it's a rehabilitation, yes or no? Provision of artificial limbs, bypass surgery, reconstructive surgery in the leprosy. The answer is bypass surgery. It is not an example of rehabilitation. It is only disability limitation. A fellow has suffered a heart disease or the coronary heart disease, and you want to give him a better life for at least for some time. You do a bypass surgery, it is a disability limitation. One of the following environment factors is very difficult to control. Again, similar question I have asked you in the past, this thing also: physical, mental, social, and biological. The answer is social. For this, I have a very important example for you. A country like United States, where tuberculosis is such a rare thing that whenever tuberculosis is reported in a hospital, the doctors there, they take flights and go and see the tuberculosis case in the hospital, because most of the doctors have not seen a case of tuberculosis in the United States. So like that, they have eradicated so many diseases which we have in our country. Nothing is there. Malaria is almost eradicated. But what is rampant and sometimes more than India in United States? You know this? The sexually transmitted diseases. The sexually transmitted diseases could not be controlled in the United States, where people are aware, the doctor to patient ratios are extremely good, and there is a sort of availability of doctors and accessibility of the healthcare system. In spite of all this, the STDs are very much there in United States of America. The reason is STD is closely related to social factors. Your behavior pattern is very much important. So for this, you have to remember the social factors are extremely difficult to control. One of the following dimensions of health is least understood. Okay, and WHO, the initial definition has got only 3 dimensions: physical, mental, and social, and it added one more dimension known as spiritual dimension. Spiritual dimension is something very abstract. We don't understand this. It is not religion. Please remember, religion is different from spirituality. Going to the temple and offering this thing, prayer to the God is religious. But what is spirituality? Spirituality is a way of belief where you realize that there is somebody above us, a supernatural force, who is trying to give us help. So this sort of spiritual type of thinking is not well understood because nobody has demonstrated where is the God and who is the God. It is only a feeling in your mind that there is God. So spirituality is not yet understood, and we require a lot of time to understand this spirituality. The spiritual dimension is not very well understood. One of the following is not included in the spectrum of the health. Their spectrum has got 7 colors. Okay, so similarly, health also has got 7 stages or 7 phases, and out of that, one is a part of this one. See, you can understand freedom from sickness. It is there. Better health, yes, it is there. Positive health is utmost the best possible health for a human being. A positive health. Only the people who are living in Himalayas, they can attain positive health. And we most often live at the stage of freedom from sickness for some time, and then suddenly we get into disease like that. So most often this is freedom from sickness, but there is nothing like negative health. D is the answer for this. It is not included under spectrum of health. The key word in the WHO definition, health, includes everything except. I think all of you should have a correct and instantaneous answer for this definition of health. Most of the examiners are fascinated to ask you, define health. Okay, so you should have, even if I wake you up in the middle of the night, you should be able to answer the question of definition of health. It's a state of complete well-being, the social, physical, social and mental well-being, not merely absence of disease or infirmity. Infirmity is not a key word there. Whereas well-being, complete state, these are the key words. Infirmity is not a key word. It is important, but it is not as important like complete state and well-being. Okay, infirmity is nothing but it's a state of disease. One of the following an example of vocational rehabilitation. There are various types of rehabilitations available, and vocational rehabilitation is related to the occupation. When once a person has got a disease, he has got a problem of losing the job. So it is related to the occupation. Mute చేయాలి ఎవరో కిక్కి అంటున్నారు సౌండ్ సడన్ గా సౌండ్ వస్తుంది ఎవరో కిక్కి శబ్దాలు వస్తుంది మరి సౌండ్ వస్తుంది కదా చూడండి ఇందాక నుంచి వస్తుంది ఓకే. So B is the answer, donation of essential foods. One of the following is the employment of the handicapped people. We are showing some sort of self-reliance in the handicapped people. Prodrome is a stage of one of these cycles: planning cycle, demographic cycle, disease cycle, vicious cycle. It is a part of disease cycle. All of the following are indicators of disability except DALY, HDA, Sullivan's and ALY. HDA is the answer. I think similar question has come in the previous also, but options are different. HDI is not a disability indicator. All of the following examples of mental health indicators except suicide rates, homicide rates, accident rates, dependency rates. The answer is dependency rates have no lineage for the mental health. The term vestigium refers to one of the following: period of incubation, generation time, period of communicability, period of hectic illness. It is the period of hectic illness. That is the period when you get high degree of fever and too much of frustration, and you also get chills and rigors, all these things. It is suffer the most during this period. That is the, but vestigium is not there for most of the chronic diseases. It's only relevant for the acute diseases. One of the following statement on incubation period is not true. It's disease specific, variable in duration, applicable to chronic disease. It's often vague. The answer is it is not applicable to chronic diseases. We call it differently. Preventive steps undertaken during the pre-pathogen period are included under one of the following: primary prevention, disease prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention. The pre-pathogen, whatever prevention method we do, it's called as primary prevention. It's a basic concept. The incubation period in the context of chronic ailment often described as one of the following. The chronic disease, it's called as latent period. It is not called as incubation period. One of the following is not an indicator of social well-being. The answer is A, that is environmental indicators are not related to social well-being. One of the following is not true about Kerala state. Kerala state, you know very well, it is almost like a European country. Almost all the health indicators are comparable to any European country. This is the only state in the entire Indian subcontinent which has got the best possible health indicators. After Kerala, we have got Goa. Both these are on the west coast, and both these states are small states, and so the administratively they are very well knit, and the health indicators are extremely good. So the answer is D. Kerala has got a high level of income. No, Kerala, the per capita income is much lower than the Punjab and Haryana. And people always think that if you have more money, you have got good health. It is totally wrong. And the literacy rate, especially female literacy rate, is very important for the good health. Public health care in India is mostly oriented towards one of the following. Is it rich people, poor people, middle class people, all the people? As far as public health care is concerned, there is no distinction of rich or poor. All the people are given the public health care. Go to primary health center, they will not ask you, what is your income? They'll say, what is your problem? They give you, similarly, you go to government hospital, they don't say that rich people cannot come. Everybody is given the treatment. So, in a public health care, suppose vaccines are given in the village, they don't say that your son is you are a rich family, your son you can take it to the private practitioner, get it done. No, it's not like that. Healthcare doesn't have that distinction of rich or poor. All the people are given public health care. Whereas in the private practice, only rich people are given good care, whereas poor people are not given care. One of the following is not a stage of disease cycle. Incubation period, vestigium, prodrome, period of communicability. Its period of communicability is the answer for this. One of the following disease is the best example of iceberg phenomena: carrier stage, rule of half, convalescent stage, dengue fever, and convalescent in dengue fever, asymptomatic stage COVID-19. Okay. The answer is A. The carrier stage in typhoid is the best example for iceberg phenomena. Popular definition of public health is given by one of the following. You should not forget this great gentleman. It is Winslow has given the wonderful definition of public health. It is about 3 or 4 lines, but still it's worth remembering the definition of public health. One of the following had strongly recommended the establishment of community medicine in every medical college in India. Today's community medicine is existing because of this great personality. That is, the Todd Commission has done this The famous statement, right patient should receive the right care at the right time, in the right place, at the right cost, was made by one of the following great gentlemen. It is Rennie Sand. And this great man has written a lot of information about community medicine. And he says that medicine is for the people, by the people, of the people. One of the following is not a criteria for international classification, ICD, that is the age group. It doesn't depend on the age group. You do not have different categories based on the age group. It is there, etiological agent, it's a part of the body is involved and type of morbidity change. All these things are the criteria for classification, but age group is not the criteria. One statement of primary prevention is not true. It's applied during pre-conception phase. It is holistic approach. There are two strategies. It's a synonymous with the primary health care. Primary health care is not synonymous with, that is primary prevention. Primary health care includes the secondary health care also. Appendicectomy is an example of one of the following. It is a very simple answer. It is disability limitation. One of the following had arranged disease in alphabetical order in the 17th century. You cannot forget this great man, John Grant. Highest point in WHO definition of health is also called one of the following. It is rarely we can get it, but I told you very clearly that only the people in Himalaya, sages or saints can get it. We cannot get it. It's positive health, very difficult to get it. The alphabet U is used in ICD to denote one of the following. All are starting with U only, but the answer is unused. One of the following indicators should not be used in the analysis of hospital data, but most often the clinician in the hospital, they say the prevalence of tuberculosis in this hospital, absolutely wrong. Please don't do this. I always stand up in the middle of the meeting, also say that please don't use the term prevalence for the hospital data. At least you don't do the same mistake. Prevalence and incidence rates are community-based rates. It cannot be applied to the hospital setting. Now itself you can make it clear. Don't use this term. And unnecessarily, I feel very ashamed when you say prevalence of hospital in the case in the hospital. Suppose tomorrow when you are presenting prevalence of tuberculosis in hospital, if you say that, I get very much irritated. So prevalence rate is a community based. Expansion of YPLL, it is a bit tough. Probably some of you might not have seen this one. That is the answer is the years of potential life lost. It's almost equal to the disability indicators. One of the following statement on ICD is not true. It's often devised once in 10 years. It has got 21 major chapters. The latest revision is yet to be presented. The first character of the U code is a number. So what is not true in this? It is the first character is not a number, it is a alphabet. Okay, so I will quickly run down all these chapters, and now I will display the marks obtained by you. Some of you have got 35 out of 50. It's a wonderful achievement because concept is a chapter which is very, very tough. If you can understand concepts, I think you have understood almost 90% of community medicine. If your concepts are good in community medicine, probably you are the best person to practice community medicine. To practice community medicine, you need not become a specialist in community medicine. You can do all this practice of community medicine as a general practitioner, even as a specialist, even as super specialist, you can practice community medicine. Some people always say that, so no sir, I will not come to community. Yes, there is no need for community medicine for you to come and specialize in this. But at least if you are able to practice at least 50% of the concept which are told to you, I will be very much grateful to you. this is the marks obtained by all of you. If you want, you can note it down. The last 6 numbers, they belong to batch 2016 batch. And I hope you remember that tomorrow, next time, that is next coming Thursday, we will be having MCQ test on nutrition. The very important chapter in community medicine, and it is very close to my heart. I have also written a textbook on nutrition, and I advise people on nutrition because nutrition is the only way of improving the health of the people and also preventing the disease. If your nutrition is good and balanced, probably you will not get most of the diseases which we are getting without it. Unfortunately, most of the modern people are the present generation. They do not give much attention to the nutrition, and they eat a lot of junk foods, imbalanced diet, so they get into the disease problems very often. So this is all I thought I can discuss with you. Almost time is over. Plenty of people. Sir, 11th question. Yeah, it is not healthcare delivery. It is the population. Somebody said the population covered by subcenter is given under healthcare delivery. Yes, it is not healthcare delivery. It is only utility. Question number 13. Yeah, these marks are important because if you are able to do these MCQs test well, I'll be knowing the potentiality of your knowledge about the community medicine. It will help you directly and indirectly in calculating the internal assessment. More than internal assessment, it is more important for you to revise the topics. Somebody wants display of the previous page. Yes. So thank you very much. I'll meet you again on next Thursday.